There's a specific artist that just like blew up overnight, and me and Novel were producing them, and it's just like 2 years later, it's like he was just nowhere to be found. And I just always said, man, I don't ever want to be that. I'm gonna figure out a way where I'm like, I'm not too big, but I'm big enough.
Hey world, welcome back to Hey Janeé. I'm your host, Janeé Bolden, a seasoned journalist and media personality. And this podcast is all about being a creative, navigating life mindfully. This is my love letter to the world, my way of saying, hey world, and of course, I want to hear it back.
Hey Janeé.
Oh, we
it's
didn't
my
prep
cue.
you.
Hey, Janeé.
Hey Spree.
What's up?
Today we are joined by one of my most creative friends.
That's right.
One of my most accomplished friends. One of my oldest friends. Spree Wilson. I love it. I love
Thank
the
you,
drama.
Detroit. Thank you, Detroit.
Detroit?
I don't know. It's just a random city.
Oh, okay, because I was like, Nashville,
Yeah.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
Where did Detroit come from?
I don't know. It's just
Shout
random.
out to Detroit.
Shout out to Detroit. I love Detroit.
got auntie and cousins there. I love me some Detroit.
We love the Midwest. Motown.
That part. That part. And of course, I'm also joined by my illustrious co-host, Zada Luby.
Hi, always happy to be here.
So we're a little punchy. Second episode. You know how it goes when you batch and sometimes you little. That second one. We didn't drink in between, I promise.
I love being a part of the second episode because that means y'all like well oiled up.
Oh, we're warmed up.
Yeah.
Well oiled up.
I mean, wait. That's a slippery slope. I meant you guys are warmed up like an engine. Hey.
Hilarious. It is a slippery slope, pun intended.
Right.
Anyway, Spree, let's get to your moment of joy this week. We like to start every episode with a moment of joy.
Okay. My first win is waking up. So that's my moment of joy.
Amen.
You know, when you can wake up, you won the day, you know. That's the first win in the pocket.
That's true. God is good. How about you, Zada? What's your moment of joy?
My moment of joy is actually I got to perform for one of my friends today at SCAD, the college. And it was actually a lot of fun. We didn't get paid or anything, but it wasn't really about that.
Mm-hmm.
It was more so just, one, being able to help a friend, and two, like, it was a new experience. I was able to interact with the other students, and they really liked her performance. And they weren't being graded on her performance, but they still, like, came up to us, and they were like, oh my gosh, you guys did a good job. It was just a lot of fun, and I hope I get to do that again. That was exciting.
I love it. I don't know why my computer is beeping and stuff. You know what that's about?
Did you tell people what your joy
Yeah,
was?
I'm going to say it.
Oh,
So my moment of joy, the beeping was annoying me. Sorry, guys. That wasn't my moment of joy. My moment of joy is, so I had a trip this weekend. I went to Phoenix for the Lover Pop Gala. If y'all have ever seen the show, Pop the Balloon or Find Love.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So they have a new app called Lover Pop. And I went to Phoenix to attend the gala and to interview Arlette and BM, who are the founders of that company.
Wow.
But the moment of joy was I was originally on Frontier and they messed up the reservation. So I was able to take Delta. That was the moment.
Okay.
I felt like so disconnected because I was Delta Diamond and, you know, in my state of unemployment, I have dropped down to silver medallion status.
Is that bad?
Yeah, I can't really relate
It's
here.
like what happens in silver?
Not what happens at Diamond, I'll tell you.
Do you
that.
still get Biscoff cookies?
Yes.
Oh man, you winning.
I know
You
that's
winning.
right.
You
I
winning.
mean, you won with Delta.
Yeah. You still get ginger ale?
You still get ginger
Oh,
ale.
man, come
and
on.
I had all these liquor vouchers, so I bought the lady next to me a mimosa, and she was so grateful.
She was your best friend.
She was.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into Spree and his career. I know this is like very random.
I love this. This is cool.
I like the chaos.
Me too.
It's-
I thrive in chaos.
Yeah. And I like your cool outfit.
Thank you.
Did you get dressed up for me, or are you
I
dressed like
did.
this every day?
I mean, I dress up like this every day,
Yes.
but specifically, I knew that I was coming here and I was going to be on camera and I was going to be sitting next to you, which is you're a hard act to follow. So I want to make sure that I lived up to the challenge and that, you know, I made you
love it.
look good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I should have put my fronts in. If I had known, I would have worn mine.
Yeah, we could have sat here in solidarity.
Yeah, it's okay. Another episode. You can always come back.
Yeah, part 2.
You're welcome
Definitely.
back. Well, let's get into part 1 though.
Let's do it.
Let's tell the people about who you are.
Okay.
I like to start, especially with my friends, with like how we actually met. So, I think we met. It has to be at least 10 years ago.
More than 10 years, like early 2000s, maybe like 2008.
2008 seems correct
2006?
because, well,
7.
so in 2006 I was in LA.
Okay.
I left New York in 2005. I
Okay.
came to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta from 2005 to 2006, but then I left in 06, moved to LA, but I came back in 08. So I think it's probably
So
08.
maybe 08.
Yeah. And we met through Novel, who is one of your best friends, good friend of mine as well, mutual friend. We got a mutual friend.
Yep.
Also a very talented musician,
100%.
songwriter. Like, you two are some of the best of the best.
Appreciate that. He was my mentor. He's the one who taught me pretty much how to be a producer and how to be a sound architect. Him in Dallas.
What does it mean when you say he taught you how to be a sound architect?
He actually taught me how to work a machine. So
Okay.
before I got to DARP, which is Dallas Austin Studios, before I got there, I was just a writer, artist, vocalist, musician. But I desperately wanted to like learn how to produce, and but I didn't have anybody to teach me at the time. So
Yeah.
when I got to Dallas, which is a funny story in itself, Dallas was like, man, I got a whole bunch of drum machines in the back, man. You can have some. And so I remember going to the back and finding this MPC 2000 XL. It like I remember I opened the curtain. It was like DuckTales, where everything was just shiny, and it was my eyes focused on this one drum machine, and it was just like opera music started playing. And I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, this is the one, right? And so I picked it up, and there was no rooms available for me. So I remember taking it to the kitchen. And I remember Novel used to always tell me, he's like, man, when I started here, I started making beats in the kitchen. So I was like, I'm going to be like you. I'm going to make beats in the kitchen. But I didn't really know how to work the machine. So I was like, man, Novel, can you teach me how to actually work it beyond just turning it on?
So this is like early YouTube era, so there wasn't like...
There wasn't
like a YouTube instructional.
Nah, man. So I remember him saying, like, just come by my house and I'll give you like a tutorial. And Novel teaches really like a professor. So like I remember taking the drum machine to his house, and he would be like, all right, turn it on. You turn it on, and you like load the sound, and you load the sound up, and then he'll turn the machine off. He'd be like, all right, go to steps 1, 2, and then we'll add another step, and then he'll make me go through those steps and add another step. Then he'll turn the machine back off, and like, cool, let's add another step. And it was just like the way he explained it to me is like it sticks in your mind.
Yeah, from the repetition.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I remember after he walked me through like 10 steps, he's like, cool, I'm about to go get some pizza. Make me 10 beats, and when I come back. And I was like, what? I was like, bro, I just learned how to do this. And he came back, and the beats were horrible, obviously.
Yeah.
And, but I just kept trying to do it, and he was just like,
But you were a musician first too, right? Like you played guitar.
Yeah. But the technical aspect of a drum machine was like, it was foreign to me. You know, I could
listen,
create a chord, but like
I can't do nothing with the drum machine. I had a session with Ninth Wonder one time. I'm cool with Fonte, and it was like a thing that Duce had where like it was like, come in the studio with Ninth Wonder and he's gonna have you teach you how to sample. So he knew me because of Fonte. He said, come here, Janeé, sit down. And then he was counting down. And I grew up in Iowa, so I'm offbeat. You know, I'm trying to like count. He's showing me where to push the button. He's, hit the button.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm gonna tell your friend.
That sounded like me when I first started.
Yeah. It's you can't. I mean, maybe if you're like a savant, you could figure it out on the first try, but I'm not a savant.
Well,
but I think you are a savant.
It's an instrument too. Like a drum machine is an actual instrument. So it's like having somebody sit down in front of a piano and expecting them to play Stravinsky. It's like, man, you may be able to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, you know, but you know, I'm not gonna be able to make beats like Novel on the first day, but you know, I soon got there.
When you say soon, how soon?
I mean, shoot.
Were you doing it every day?
Yeah, I was in Dallas' studio every day after school. Like, I would be leaving school, set up in the kitchen, put some speakers and the headphones in, and put a record player right next to me. And like people would be like, "Yo, who is this kid like making beats in the kitchen?" I'd be like, just trying, and then just every time novel came out, like, listen to this, and he's like, "It's cool." And he would just go back in. He's a tough critic. He's like, "It's cool."
Well, you said after school. Was this high school or college?
Clark. Yeah.
Oh, you went to Clark. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And then how'd you meet Dallas?
Man, I was working at I was staying with my grandma at the time. My grandma was like, "Man, baby, if you're gonna stay here with me, you're gonna need a job." And I was like, a job for real? Like a real job? And she was like, "Yeah, you're gonna need a job." So I started thinking about all the places in the city I want to work. And I was like, you know what, Little 5 Points is like a vibe. Like cool, it feels like somewhere that I would hang out. So I remember going to Little 5 Points, and I was just walking around like putting applications in every store. Yeah. And I had a good friend. She was one of my best friends. Her name is Poe. She was on the Lala show, but
I know Poe.
Went to school together. So she was a manager for one of Dallas' stores called Rowdy. And I walked in there. I was like, I called her Book. I was like, Book, I need a job. My grandma tripping, man. She said I need a job. Like, can we figure this out? She's like, all right, the manager's gonna come here in like an hour. Just relax and wait for her. So the manager came, and the manager's like, all right, cool, we can do your interview right now. Let's go next door. And my interview is basically just a music, like what music you like. And so I was going through like talking about Red Hot Chili Peppers, Tool, because this is a woman who's also musically inclined. So like I was just trying to impress her with everything I knew. She's like, cool, you got the job? Yeah. Started working the next day, and then one day Dallas came in. I had my guitar playing in the store, and Dallas came in. He didn't know I started working there. But when he walked in, man, he had this aura. He was like, I was like, man, I never seen somebody like with a glow before. He came in, he was swaggy, his arms were swinging, and he saw me, and he caught me playing guitar. I was like, oh shit, like, oh man, I trying to hide it.
Not you trying to hide the guitar.
And he was like, man, you play guitar? I was like, yeah, man, I play guitar, man. You know, I'm nice. And he was like, okay, that's what's up, man. Keep practicing. And then he just left.
Oh wow.
But yo, I thought, when he said keep practicing, I thought the man meant like, oh man, I'm gonna sign you. That's why I felt like when I got home, I was calling up everybody. I was like, hey man, you never forget, you never imagine what just happened. Dallas walked in and he said, keep practicing. I think I'm gonna get signed, baby. I think I'm gonna blow up. And no, I did not blow up. But the store ended up closing down eventually. And then Emily, who was the manager, I remember calling her one day. I was like, yo, you guys got internships at DARP? Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, come through. And I just started interning at Dallas, and that's how I got in the Dallas Austin community.
Wow, that's incredible. It's funny that you were mentioning that you just knew like Dallas was gonna put you on, because I feel like for as long as I've known you, you're always like at that step of like you're always on the verge of. I remember when we first met, you were about to get signed at Jive, I think, and then. When you were working with Kanye, I remember when that was happening. So like you, throughout your career, like you've had so many, for some people, like it would be like, this was my peak moment. Yeah. But you've had many peak moments.
I love that about I actually, when I think about like the career that I've had, I love the fact that like I'm able to constantly kind of like work with a lot of people, and that people in the industry know me, but that I haven't had like, dang, whatever happened to old boy? You know what I'm saying? Because
there's no spree fell off.
I used to see a lot of that in the studio, like with artists that would come in to work with us. It's like, I remember, I won't say his name, but there's a specific artist that just like blew up overnight, and me and Novel were producing them, and it's just like 2 years later, it's like he was just nowhere to be found. And I just always said, man, I don't ever want to be that. I'm gonna figure out a way where I'm like, I'm not too big, but I'm big enough.
It's kind of like how actors say, like working actors versus like whatever the A-list actors or whatever. Yeah. But a working actor will keep a job, and same with a working musician or songwriter.
Yeah, I never wanted to be like a person where like I needed to like have a whole bunch of security to walk around, because I saw that with Dallas. Like I would be hanging in the studio with like a Janet Jackson or like all these big artists, and I would see their life, and I'd be like, man, I like going to the store by myself and like not having to think about like, you know, who's gonna take a picture of me or how many autographs I got signed before I even just came here to buy some orange juice.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think that's why I always like writing, because I was like, you can be name famous, and like people have no one know who you are.
Yeah.
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your travels and your journeys. Like me, you have moved around quite a bit.
Yep.
So you were born in Nashville, and then at what age did you come to Atlanta for Clark, or was it before that? Okay.
I came here at 15.
Wild. You started college at 15?
No.
You just came here at 15.
Yeah.
But you finished high school at 16.
Yeah,
Okay.
early when I was young.
Amazing.
So, and then went to Clark. Which was a wild time because, like, it was the first time being away from like my mom. But my family's from Atlanta, so like I was far away from my mom enough, but like I was still had like my family in a city that was like protective and like would come pick me up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember Granny too. I remember meeting her. Yeah, I remember her. She's very. I didn't see the side of you got to get a job spree. I saw where she was like the sweet.
My grandma is where she was, but she was the funniest person, the sweetest individual. She loved everybody, and she like remembered people, man. Like, she remembered everyone. Like, if you came to the house one time, she may not remember your name, but she would ask about like, yo, where's that pretty girl with the big hair? Like, like, how's she doing? Or like, how's your friend with like the limp in his leg or something? Like, it's just like whatever like the thing was.
Identifying.
Like she would always ask about this specific person. So that's why I always loved about her, because she just had a good sense of humor. So
you went to Clark. You finished Clark? No.
I spent a lot of time at Clark and to not finish. Nah.
College dropout, but you still learned to, what is it? Find a way or make
Find
one?
a way to make one. Yeah.
I love that about Clark.
Once I got with Dallas, I was like, man, I'm already doing what I want to do. You know, like, and the thing about like my family is, well, at least my mom came around later, but my grandma was like my biggest cheerleader. So she was always, she played guitar. She's the one who gave me my first guitar. And she was always like about my music. She was like, man, don't forget you gotta do your music. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. So like when I said I wasn't going to school anymore, she was like, all right, like you already.
Is that your maternal grandmother? Okay.
And she was like, yo, you're already doing what you want to do. Like my grandma was the one.
She supported you.
Driving me to my internship with Dallas, like in the station wagon every day. We used to call it the Granny Don't, cause people were like, cause my grandma was like, I'm gonna give you this car, and I was like, Granny Don't, like. Do not, Granny, don't. I do not want this car. And she used to take me to my. I didn't have a car, so she was taking me there early in the morning, and she was picking me up there late at night, and she was just super supportive, just like everything.
And your dad was a musician too, right?
Yeah, he's a sing. Well, he's a lab technician owner, but when he was young, he used to sing in this group called the Blue Notes in Memphis. It was a doo-wop group.
The blue shirts?
Blue shirts, yeah, blue shirts.
Because you know,
I was saying blue notes. I was talking about Teddy Penny. Yeah, I was talking about the blue shirts, yeah.
Yeah.
So, they didn't cut any records, but from what he told me is like he used to be up there at Stax because he's from Memphis. So like all the Stax cast and stuff like that. So
Memphis is a special place too.
It is. Yeah.
I'm sure you spent some time there.
Yeah, it's. My dad's side is a whole different side from my mom's side. It's like
we gotta love those combos.
Yeah, gold grills, like super country, driving donks, like yeah, man, like chitlins, pigskin, like pork rinds.
Yeah,
all the stuff.
We got that in Alabama too.
All the stuff I don't eat, you know, but. It's part of culture.
It's historical.
Yeah.
It's like has cultural relevance.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you're at Clark, you meet Dallas, and then you intern. Novel helps you learn how to make beats and produce.
Yeah. Can I tell this quick story about how Dallas let me go into the studio?
I would love to hear that.
All right, this is my favorite story. All right, so I'm interning at Dallas Austin Recording Projects. Every morning, I'm the first person there, and I'm like the last person to leave. And I was like, it was a challenge to myself. I was like, man, like I'm not going to tell anybody I'm a recording artist or anything. Like at the most, Dallas knew I played guitar. And I was like, man, like I have to work so hard just to prove that like I'm a good worker first. So I would just do this for 6 months, right? At the same time, I'm like recording demos outside of like the studio with a friend, like in her basement or something. And so like I have all these songs, and like 6 months pass, I'm interning with Dallas, and I'm like, you know what? I think today's the day I'm gonna show him my greatness. So I remember making a CD, right, with my name on it, and I was like, when he comes here, I'm gonna give him the CD. And I remember he came in with that swag, that glow. He pulled up in a Ferrari. I'll never forget. It was sunny outside. There was a reflection on the Ferrari. It's like, man, like, oh my God, like, look, who is this guy? And so he came in, and my heart was beating fast. It's like when you see like a beautiful girl, it's like, damn, man, I don't know how I'm gonna approach this person. So I remember like pulling out the CD, and I was stunned. I was like, hey, Dallas, how you doing? I just want to give you my CD. He's like, man, you do music? I was like, yeah, man, I do. You know, I'm an artist. And he's like, oh, that's what's up. So he said, I'm gonna check this out. So he takes the CD. He takes the CD and he walks back to his car, and I'm watching him from the office that I'm working in, and he gets in the car, and then he tosses the CD over his shoulder. And then the CD is like spinning in slow motion.
Oh no!
It's like, and then it goes into a black hole in the back seat. I don't even know, and he just drives off, right? And I'm like, man, he gonna listen to it. So 2 days later, he pulls up in the Ferrari. Skirt. I'm like, okay, I know he's listening to it. I know he's about to sign me. So he walks in the door. I was like, DA, what's up, man? You check out the music? He's like, oh man, I lost it. Hey, can you make me another CD? I was like, dang, all right, bet, I got you. So I went to the back, made a second CD, and I gave it to him. I was like, man, check it out, man. I know you're going to love it. It's right up your alley. He said, man, I'm going to listen to this one for real. I'm going to listen to this one. So I watch him, and he's walking to the car, and he gets in, and then he tosses it over his shoulder.
Oh, no.
Slow motion, back into the black hole of the back seat. And I was like, hey, man, what's going on? Maybe that's where, like, you know, maybe that's where all the hits live or something. I'm not sure. And so he drives off. Then the next week comes, and then he comes again, and he's like, I'm like, yo, Dallas, you listen to the CD? He said, oh, man, bro, I lost it. Make me one more. I'm not going to lose this one, right? So I make him the CD. I give it to him. This time I didn't even want to watch him walk to the car. I turned my head, and I was like, all right, cool. So he drives off. And as I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, I have to figure out a way to make him listen to my music. I had like, what is a way where I can he just can't escape the music. And so I remember that not him, but I was given a key card to the actual studio, because I was working in the office. And I was like, well, I got a card to the studio. I can get there. I was like, oh yeah, my granny has a station wagon. Okay, so I went home, and my grandma used to have them old time speakers, them studio setups, right? So I packed this big old stereo system in the back of an old station wagon, and then I drove
in the back of your granny dome.
Yeah, in the back of the granny dome. Drove it back to the studio. This is like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Drove it back to the studio, and like I started unpacking this big stereo system. I opened the door with the speaker, kept it there so the door could stay open. And I'm like this small dude, like bringing in this big equipment, right? And you've been to DARP, like it was that main area. So I'm setting up a stereo system in the middle of like an actual workplace. These are people trying to get work done, like music. So like they're famous people in the actual waiting room. And like people are like, yo, what is this kid doing? And I'm in here like building some Lego blocks. It's like building like a Lincoln Log house with all this stereo, right? And so I pulled the CD out, and I opened the CD player, and I put it in, and I closed my eyes, and I turned the volume up, and I'm like, man, either they're gonna beat me up, or they're just gonna love what they hear, but I gotta play the music. And so I pushed play, and I took a deep breath. And the music is just blasting, like everybody's hearing this music in the middle of like the studio.
Their session,
and like people are coming out like, what's going on out here? And so all of a sudden I hear somebody singing the song that's being played, and I'm like, who else knows this song? Like I'm the only person that I made the music. Like nobody else has this CD, and it was Dallas, and Dallas is walking out of the studio. He said, man, you know what? That last CD, I checked it out. This joint is jamming, man. This joint jamming. And he's like, man, you know what? You're super talented. You know, bro, you don't have to be an intern. You could just come here at the studio and work, right? And so that was kind of when he opened the studio
your turning
up.
point.
Yeah, and then that's when he's like, you can pick a drum machine, and then that's when I opened the back, and the opera music played, and I started working in the kitchen. The kitchen was my first studio, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I met Novel and everybody else at Dark.
Wow. But you took some risks to get there.
Got to. What's the worst that could happen? He kicked me out the studio. I was like, all right, cool.
Right. And then he actually offered you a recording contract.
Yeah. He wanted to sign me to Rowdy. He was doing a thing called Rowdy TV at the time. It was like kind of the first of its kind, like kind of like an online distro. I mean, like you had CD Baby and you had like TuneCore and stuff like that, but like he was the first artist who kind of had like his own kind of online thing. But I was like, man, I think I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave Atlanta. So,
what led to you leaving? Because I feel like that's like a real risk. Like you literally bought a one-way ticket to New York, and you end up in New York.
Yeah.
Sleeping in Penn Station.
Yeah.
How do you just move to New York and you don't have a job, apartment?
That's exactly why I moved to New York.
Support system.
That's exactly why I moved to New York. So, well, the reason I moved to New York is because I felt like I had done everything, you know, like I was performing at every
Atlanta
venue.
will give you that feeling.
100%. So
Yeah.
I was performing everywhere. I had been written up like in the AJC. I had been written up in Creative Loaf, and I was like what else am I gonna like do? I'm working with like one of the biggest producers here. I'm working with artists, so it's just like eventually I felt like I hit a ceiling. Also, I wanted to kind of test my talent with like a bigger group of artistic creatives, you know, and so. For that very reason, what you said, I didn't tell anybody I was moving to New York. Because the first thing people are going to say when you tell them that you're going to do something crazy is they're going to run down the list of all the reasons
And
why
I literally have said this so many times on my show, like to not listen to outside voices.
Man, don't even tell people, like, because most people, unless you tell a trusted individual, like the only person I told was my grandmother. And because I didn't tell you, like, it's just like, hey, man, you got a job? Dang, you know, it's a big city. You know, it's a lot of people up there. Man, you know, like, I mean, you were killing it down here in Atlanta, but New York, it's like nobody's ever going to start with, that's a great idea, man. That's fantastic. Like, of course you can make it in New York. You're super talented.
I would have
like,
told you that you were going to make it in New York.
You probably would have, though.
I would
You
have.
probably would.
Yeah, but I also probably wouldn't have let you go up there without a support system. I would have said, when you get here, first of all, you probably could have stayed in my old apartment because my old roommate still lives there. Shout out to Crystal, 164th Street in Fort Washington, in Washington Heights, 5th floor walk up.
Yeah.
We had a 3-bedroom. We was only paying $1,400 for it. I think the rent still it's rent stabilized.
Yeah,
it still might be cheap rent up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it got to New York.
I would have put you on. You wouldn't have had to sleep at Penn Station, but maybe you would have, because she would have wanted at least like $400.
Yeah.
But $400 is nothing.
It was nothing. Yeah. I probably could have swung 400.
Yeah.
I could have swung 400.
You trying to go?
I'm actually.
You trying to sleep in Penn Station?
Well, no.
She's asking if she can go get my roommate's new roommate.
I'm just saying 400 is real good in New York.
I'm not gonna lie, Penn Station's kind of lit now.
This was also like 20 years ago, so it's probably not 400 anymore.
Penn Station's kind of fire now. Like
Penn Station,
it's spruced up better than when I was there.
Do they let people sleep there still?
Well, they didn't know that I was just sleeping there because I have a place to stay. But it was an area back then. This is before
people
like
waiting for trains.
Yeah, exactly. The Amtrak.
Got you.
So like you could just flash your ticket back then. I was just flashing the ticket, and they just like, okay, sit right here and wait for your train. And since the trains run all type of night, like all hours of the night, like nobody knows that you're sleeping there overnight, and people change shifts, so like they're not sitting there.
It's not the same people.
Yeah, so it's like I'm coming. Like, walking around the city, coming back later, sleeping there, washing up, you know what I'm saying, doing what I gotta do, and then walking around the city with a guitar and a bag, and just like, I'm here.
Okay. So you're sleeping in Penn Station. How do you go from sleeping in Penn Station to working with Q-Tip?
So as I'm walking around the city with my bag and my guitar, I run into a friend who I went to Clark with, and she was like, man, you're in New York now? I was like, yeah, I'm here in New York, the big city. Come on. It's me. And she's like, where are you staying? I was like, you know, I'm near 34th Street. You know what I'm saying? I'm around. I'm in the city. You know what I'm saying? She's like, where in the city? I was like, you know, like Penn Station. She said, dang, you got a spot near Penn Station? That's crazy. I was like, nah, I'm in Penn Station. And she was like you're sleeping, that's where you're staying. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, you know, it's exquisite. You know what I'm saying? It got lights. It got I got food over here, popcorn, pizza. She's like, man, you don't gotta do that. Just you can come crash on my couch. So she stayed in Bed-Stuy, and so I took my belongings and went to Bed-Stuy. And the first week, I get a text. You know Dominique.
Of course.
Okay.
Shout out to Sunshine D, baby.
Yo, me
Dominique Maldonado.
me and Dom were like this in
You
New
were,
York. We
yes.
were like two peas in the pod. So like
Yes.
one day Dom
Music nerds.
the week I moved in with my friend, Dom texted me. She's like, "Hey, my friend Kamal, I gave him your CD and he wants you to call him tomorrow." And I'm thinking like, yo, I just stopped sleeping in Penn Station. Who the hell is Kamal? Like it's just like.
Not you didn't know Q-Tip's government name.
Nah, it's like, because to me, I'm frustrated. I'm sleeping on the couch. And then it's like some random dude she just hit me up about. I'm like, Kamal, who is Kamal?
But you should have known from Dominique that it wasn't going to be anybody.
Man, I didn't. I
regular.
was just not in the headspace. So she was like, Kamal. I was like, who is Kamal? She said Q-Tip. And I was like, man, all right. And I hung up on her. And then, so she's like, oh, nah. So, she sent me his number. She said, call him tomorrow at a certain time. I think it was like 12:05 or something like that, right? And so I remember like looking in the mirror trying to rehearse what I was going to say to him. I was like Issa Rae, man, just like going through the affirmations, trying to figure out because I didn't even know if it was going to be real. I thought maybe it could be a prank, but I was like, man, I hope this is real.
Yeah.
So the next morning I woke up and I remember like I dialed the numbers. And I was sweating bullets, man. And I pushed that send, and I think the phone rang about 13 times.
Oh my God.
It was the longest set of like.
I didn't even know it'll let you ring.
I didn't know it either, but like maybe his phone is special. I mean, he's a unicorn, so like maybe he got a special phone.
Yeah.
And I remember like on the 13th ring, he answered, and it's that familiar voice. And at that very moment, I was like, I'm talking to the person that I used to listen to as a kid on the phone. And he was like, hello? I was like, hello, this is Spree, how you doing? And he's like, oh, Spree, what's up, man? Hey, listen, Dom gave me your CD. I love it. I'm in the airport with Kanye and Jeezy. I'm about to go to Japan. Call me back in like 13 and a half days. I was like, 13 and a half? He's like, yeah, man, call me back. After that, so he hung up, and then I was like, like them cartoons where like they're in the jail cell and they're writing the little lines.
On the calendar.
Yeah, I was like in my bedroom, just like, okay, 1, 2. So the days passed, and I remember calling him, and he picked up the phone. And he didn't sound like he was in the greatest of moods. And he's like, man, listen, man, I ain't really got nothing for you right now, but I'll call you when I do. Click. I was like, dang. I thought that was it. I thought that was going to be my Q-Tip story. I thought I was like, well, at least I got a chance to talk to him on the phone.
Yeah.
And then maybe a month later, I found my first apartment. It was $300 on Fulton and Franklin.
Hey.
It was literally the size of like this little corner right here.
It was like a closet.
Man, 100%, 100%. Like somebody just converted that. It's like, yeah, you can make a pallet right here.
Somebody's Guyanese grandma running it out.
So I was sleeping. I didn't have no money for no furniture, nothing. So I was like layering my clothes on top of each other to like make a little bed. And I remember I got a phone call. My phone was ringing early in the morning, like 7, 8 a.m. I was like, man, who's calling me before business hours? I don't even wake up this early. And it was him. And he's like, hey, listen, I was listening to the music and I was wondering like, is it okay if we I take the music to like shop it to labels? I was like, hell yeah. When you want to start? He said, we're going to start today. I was like, for real? And so he's like, meet me in the city. I met him at the city. Me and Don met him at the coffee shop in Union Square.
Oh, I used to live right next door to coffee shop.
We met him at the coffee shop, and like this is the first time I'm ever meeting Q-Tip. And like it's like the same aura Dallas had, like that glow. And I'm like in a booth, and I'm like, yo, I'm talking to one of the greatest artists of all time, and he's telling me that he likes my music. That's crazy. And like he's just giving me advice and talking about the sonics and all this stuff. And he's like, all right, cool. We eating some breakfast or something. And he's like, you ready? And I'll never forget, like, we went to every label damn near. Like, we was walking up in Universal. We was walking up in Sony. Every label that would see us, like on no moment's notice. Like he didn't even make.
There was no appointment.
He didn't make no appointments. He was like, yeah, I'm here to see so and so.
Yeah.
And if they were available to be seen, he would stay. If they weren't, he would leave.
Yeah.
And we just do that for a whole day. And he was like, cool, we're gonna see what happens. And then I remember he dropped me and Dom off to get back on the train to Brooklyn. And I just looked at Dom. I was like, yo, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Like, did we just do this whole adventure? And she's like, yeah.
She's kind of a unicorn too, though.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And so yeah, eventually, months later, Jav offered, a deal. I had to do a whole audition, and I had a 140-degree temperature when I did the audition.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I still had to perform, and it was crazy.
Wow, you tell a hell of a story, Spree Wilson.
Well, it's one of my many gifts.
How does it help you as a songwriter to be this great storyteller?
I think it builds a connection, because people, instead of just saying, hey, I do this, I think people are looking to be inspired, and people like to hear the beginning, middle, and end of things. Like, how did you become this person? And then when you hear a story, you realize, like, yo, this person is really no different than I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not some super saiyan, like, I'm just a person who just like, I just take big swings all the time, like, that is something like my mom always told me. It's like, this kid goes for it, And so, like, from the stereo system in Dallas spot to moving to New York to, I mean, I could tell you countless stories of just taking big swings.
We'll be here all day.
Yeah.
Because you have had so many, like, earlier you were talking about Ryan Leslie. How did you meet Ryan Leslie?
I met him through my friend Latif, who's also a singer-songwriter who was signed to Motown at the time.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, so me and Latif are like this too, because we got signed to Universal as writers around the same time. So he was partners with Ryan, and so me and Ryan shared a business manager, I believe. At the time, our business manager is not in business anymore, but he retired. And so I met him either through there, like going to Latif to my business manager, or some way, you know what I mean? So
we had a artist, Kez Namdi. He won the best reggae album this year. We had him on the show like a month ago, I would say, and we kind of talked about like the whole Grammy process, and like even just like as a musician when you're creating, how much do you factor in like the audience, like who is the audience, and is the audience the Recording Academy? Is it for your peers? Like, when you make music, is it just for yourself, or do you have a specific audience in mind?
That's a good question. I think different artists and writers cater or have a different mindset. I tend to take the David Bowie approach, which is to not consider the audience when I'm making something, hoping that the audience finds some kind of connection through the things that I'm writing about, but not letting the audience dictate what I'll make, because I think that can get into a dangerous territory, because you're never really following your own compass. You're always following at the trendy whims of an audience that could be like one thing on Monday and like something completely different on Wednesday. Yeah. And so I think you have to be a real artist, and like follow your own heart, and then find the connective tissue in the emotions in your music. So like, if I'm making something that is inspired by, like, I don't know, like Fela Kuti or something, right? Like, that's just the musical, that's the dressing of it. But like, the connectivity is perseverance. The connectivity is strength. The connectivity is like, maybe I'm talking about grief. That's bringing us closer. Yeah. And that's so real. That's the thing that you're connecting to. Like, I'm not thinking about like, oh, well, is making Fela Kuti music in right now? Like, I'm not thinking about that. I'm following my heart.
One thing I've always loved about your music is that it's not, you don't fit into like a box, and I think your influences really show. Like, I remember one of our early conversations of talking about the Beatles, and I know like even a lot of your influences and your mentors that you've mentioned, they're known for not being like what you would think of as traditional like Black music, or and I think typically, if someone would be like, oh, my friend Spree, he sings, oh, he does R&B. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we would call it that. And 100%. I think we're in an era now where that's kind of out the window. You see even the Grammys adding new categories and stuff like that. Yep. How do you feel about this time in terms of what Black music is? And it kind of, I feel like it's a better space in terms of the diversity than it's been in a long time.
Man, 100%. When I was young, listen to anything that wasn't black could definitely get you chased home from school. Like, I remember like bringing a rock album to show and tell or something, and them kids were like, what is this? You would have thought I brought like a severed head to class or something, man. Like, kids were just like, he's not one of us. It's like Game of Thrones, man. Everybody got fire and want to like burn you at the stake all of a sudden. It's like, it's just Green Day, y'all. What's going on? Like, and so now it's because of the way that people listen to music and the access to music.
Yeah.
Like, you have kids who have such a diverse and varied listening habits, you know. So it could range from like Beatles, MGMT, Blink 182 to like Ye to NBA YoungBoy to anything, you know what I mean? And it all mixes and kind of mashes together. And I think that's the beauty about the way music is now. I love that.
How did you find your sound?
Man, through trial and error, just trying, again, being fearless. I remember the first song I ever gave Dallas, I think the reason why he liked it was a song called Traveling Man Blues. And I really wanted to figure out a way to blend my love for blues music and hip hop together. And the first thing he told me was like, man, you kind of remind me of Speech from Arrested Development. Y'all got kind of like that little same like eclectic vibe. And I was always just striving, like in the early stages, not really landing the plane, but at least trying to like land it and like maybe overshooting it a little bit or maybe undershooting it. But I think just trying to just continue to hit my target help refine the sound and just not like listen to people, you know, like other people, whatever people are saying. Also, I gotta say this, like my time in the music business has for the most part been really amazing. Like, I don't have horror stories, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have like a story about how someone screwed me. I don't have a story about like how someone like put me down. Like 99% of the people that heard my music, they were incredibly supportive. Like they encouraged me to be super out there. Nobody ever was like, you need to hone it back a little bit. Like from Dallas to Tip to like anybody I've ever met, every creator was like, yo, this dude is just different. So like, keep doing what you're doing. Like you'll find whatever it is that you're searching for, but keep doing that. So it's like, and with the encouragement of that, plus my family being so encouraging, it helped me to, you know, walk more to the beat of my own drum and be myself, you know?
I feel like you're very free. You know what I mean? Like, I think artists in general, we work so hard to be free, just to be ourselves. It's not always the easiest thing, but like what you said is so key, having that community who just encourages you to be yourself. Let's talk about where you are now.
Okay.
So I know you have an EP, a pretty recently released EP. These days don't last long.
Yes.
What led you to release this EP? Why is this the time for it?
Okay, so I started the EP during the roughly some of the ideas were written during the pandemic, but I moved back to Atlanta during the pandemic to take care of my grandmother, who was in her 90s at the time, and me and my grandmother were best friends, you know. Before she passed away.
You are best friends.
Yeah, we are best friends, you know. And so I just didn't want her to be in Atlanta by herself. Like, my grandmother was very independent. Like, she was still driving a car in 90. She was still going to play cards. She was still doing the books at church. Yeah. And so it became very dangerous for her to be here. And so I became an official caretaker. And so, or like, I guess the end of the pandemic, she passed away. And it was like, man, like, oh, it's all good. And so I was like, man, like, how can I channel like all these thoughts and pain and stuff into like music? And so my grandmother used to always say, like, she would always say like, these days will pass, you know, like this won't last forever. And so I was like, man, like, it's the idea of like, I started thinking about it in two ways, right? So I started thinking about like, these days don't last long. It's like sometimes the great things that you have with people just don't last. Like there's an ending to everything. There's an ending to life. There's an ending to relationships. There's an ending to jobs. There's an ending to your meal. You know what I'm saying? Like there's literally an ending. There's an ending to your shower. Like there's an ending for everything. And so I was thinking in that way, but I was also thinking it from a standpoint of like the bad days don't last long. So like the grief, whatever grief I'm feeling at the time, it won't last forever. Eventually, there will be a time where the clouds are part and like the sun to come shining in, as they say. And so I wanted to channel that energy into music, and so that was the impetus of the project.
That's beautiful. So I do this segment called See, Stream, and Skip.
You do, what's it called?
See, Stream, and Skip.
See, stream, and skip?
Yeah.
Okay.
So every episode, I recommend typically like a movie to go see, something to stream, and then usually the skip is like an attitude or something.
Okay,
Something.
cool.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't want to.
You don't want to be the skip?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So the C for this week is How to Make a Killing. It's the new film starring Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
Okay.
Yeah. It starts in a prison.
Okay.
So Glenn Powell's in prison on death row.
Uh-huh.
He's about to be executed.
Mm-hmm.
And the priest comes and he starts telling him what happened. And it's a great story. So basically he was born into this billionaire family, but his mother was disinherited or disowned. Mm. And then it goes through like basically him trying to make his way back to that life and the things he does, and murders happen.
Okay. Crime ridden.
There is a crime spree that happens. For stream, we're gonna say stream Spree Wilson. These days don't last long.
I hear that applause. I wish I had like a little clap track.
Yeah,
in
you
there,
need
know
like
what I mean?
the sound.
Yeah.
So here we got you.
There we go.
I also would say stream Reality Check Inside America's Next Top Model on Netflix.
I've been seeing the discourse on this.
There's a lot of discourse.
There is.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
How do you feel about it? Talk about it.
We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Yeah, we're all rooting for you.
I haven't seen the show, so I have no idea what's going on.
But you've seen America's Next Top Model.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting because we're living in a time that I think once we get past this time, people will look back and be like, what the hell was going on and why were certain people allowed to do certain things?
Yeah.
But it is incredible to be living in that time and then looking back at that time and being like, she was bugging at that time and they were bugging. There was a lot of things that were wrong with the show. Yeah. But watch the documentary because we need to have a proper discourse about it. Maybe next episode. For Skip, I'm saying skip the clutter. So technically today is the start of the Lunar New Year. We can officially say Happy New Year, Chinese New Year. Mm-hmm. This is when the year of the fire horse is like officially supposed to start.
Oh, today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on the 17th. Yeah.
How
so
fitting is that it starts on the day of this interview. I am fire. And you know.
I was born in the year of the horse, so I'm with that horse year energy.
Okay.
And you're wearing red.
Yeah.
The fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
You got a little
And you can't see it. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying skip the clutter because you don't want to bring clutter into your new year.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, like, I stayed with my friend Anissa in December, and she's a minimalist. And when I say minimalist, I mean, like, I've never been in a woman's closet before where there's, like, empty hangers. Mm-hmm. It literally, her whole closet is, so she uses, like me, she's a Rent the Runway girl. Click the link in my bio. I've got codes and discount links if you want to try Rent the Runway out. But yeah, so she, like me, she's a Rent the Runway girl. So she rents her clothes from Rent the Runway, and then she only owns like her very favorite pieces.
That's
she
smart.
does have some like shoes and a couple bags, but she got rid of like a lot of the bags, a lot of the clothes and stuff. And she spends her money on travel, which is
amazing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get there because
that,
right
yeah.
now all my closets is packed. All right. So y'all want to get to the affirmation? Do you have any last questions for Spree?
One of my only other question is how your journey shaped your music. Like once you had your sound when you started, but you went through a lot. Your story is extremely interesting. So how did that implement into your music later on?
I think it affected my music the most is like being able to see the world and realizing that sound travels further than the places I thought it could travel, right? So when you write music for, you know, different artists, like it was for a time where I was writing music for a lot of international artists.
Yeah.
And so I was able to travel and perform in places where people didn't even speak English, you know, so but people knew these songs, right? And so I think coming back and back to America and going to the studio, knowing that, like, man, my music can travel way further than I believed it could at the time. So just writing from a standpoint of, like, not just being a domestic artist, but like also thinking internationally, traveling and figuring out how you can, you know, share your talent, not just with the people in your community or your state or your region, but how you can experience it and take it to the world as much as possible.
Dope. I feel like your style is very like the way that you express yourself through your story and like how expressive your music is. I think your style also represents that very well. I think you're just overall a very creative person, and it shows.
I like this, man. I didn't even have to pay y'all to say all this. This is amazing. Like, I can I get a recording of this just so I can have this for a morning affirmation?
Yes, I can get you a clip. Before you leave, do you have any questions for us?
Yes. May I come back, please?
Yes.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing. I just want to say, when I first saw that Janeé was doing the podcast, I wasn't afraid to ask because, you know, I'm like, I swing the bat, but I was like, man, like I wonder if Janeé was gonna, like, if she thinks I'm dope enough to be on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And so I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be here.
Yeah.
And tell my story and express myself and share it with your audience, because, like, I think the thing I want to do this year more so is, like, share more of, like, who I am and also the journey to get here, because I think there's a lot of people who are like me, who grew up very eclectic with eclectic taste, and probably just, you know, like, social media gives you this illusion that, you know, like, everything's acceptable, but there are kids out there who have all this eclectic creativity, but they just are in a community that doesn't build them up, that doesn't encourage them to keep pursuing it. So, like, I think this year I really want to tell my story and just talk to more people. You know, I was telling Elle, I was like, yo, I'm talking to kids at Clark and colleges, and I want to express myself. And
he's talking at colleges too. Zada was at college at a college today.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, they need tangible
the children,
visuals.
all the future.
They are the future. Shout out to Jesse Jackson, R.I.P.
Teach
you know
them
what I'm
well, yeah.
And
shout out to Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, and so, like, when they could see somebody, when they could see you, I think they're more inspired than seeing you on the screen.
Absolutely. Okay, y'all ready for the affirmation?
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Do we hold hands?
This is all about not normally. Not normally. I was really just going like this, but if you want to hold my hand, that's a Beatles song.
That is a Beatles. You know what? I totally was gonna say it, but I was like, damn, that just would be just too on the nose for me.
Hilarious. So this is all about chasing dreams. I see you as a dreamer, someone who pursues their dreams. Like you said, you're not afraid to swing that bat. Yeah. And this show is for the dreamers. I'm all for making our dreams come true. The affirmation is, I honor the dreams placed in my heart. I move toward them daily. Even when the path is unclear, every small step I take is proof I believe in my future.
I love that.
I love that.
Thank you very much.
That sounds like something I would see, like, on the refrigerator of my grandmother's. It would be on like a magnet on my grandmother's refrigerator. That's cool.
Yeah, maybe that's my career. I should make magnets.
You should.
Yeah.
You should think about, like, printing up the affirmation that you say at the end of the show and, like, making it available to people.
Okay. I see where this is going. That could be a book.
With, like, Hey Janeé, like, your logo at the bottom. I think that'd be dope. There you go. Listen, I not only come with the interviews and the style and the flavor, I also give business tips. Hit me up, 1-800-SPREEZY.
For real though, Spree, where can people find you?
Man, you can find me anywhere and everywhere. You have social media, Spree Wilson on all platforms. Please reach out, for real. Like, I'm gonna be serious. This is my camera right here. I'm gonna be serious. Like, if you need advice, if you just, you know, want some music to be heard, just hit me up. Like, don't bombard my inbox, but, like, I'm super approachable, and I like being able to be of service to others. So
Nice.
hit me up.
And you won't just throw the CD in the back seat or to Dallas.
Yeah. Or if I throw it in the back seat, it won't be as fancy as a Porsche or a Ferrari, but it'll be in the back seat of a Kia. but it'll get hurt.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Hey Janeé Podcast. This has been my love letter to the world, my way of saying, hey, world. And of course, I want to hear it back.
Hey, Janeé.
Oh, you want to say your name? Okay. Of course you do. Hey, Janeé.
Hey. Love it.